Before we start, this video is for the average guy, a guy like you that still has doubts that they can install a split AC system by themselves. It's quite easy. I'm not going to show you $1,000 tools, how it's done. This is going to be done with small tools that you have around the house or things that you could borrow from friends. YouTube is full of professional videos that are very intimidating, but this doesn't mean that you cannot do it. My installation is working fine for a couple of days now. This video is a picker-upper for all those depressing videos on YouTube that are super complicated and they're 45 minutes long. Hey guys, Vic is Romaniac. Fear, it's what stops you from trying. And not trying, it's actually worse than giving up. Installing my own AC. First, you have to mark the location for the inside unit. I have chosen the location above my fridge because piercing through the wall on the other side, the compressor will be there, the lines will be very, very short, and therefore the system will be a lot more efficient and also easier to manage with all the cables and wiring. Each unit installs with its own bracket, so follow the instruction in the manual for the bracket. Once the unit is on the wall, then we're going to go to the next step. The bracket is installed on the wall, and I ran all the measurements so I could drill a hole through the wall to the outside unit. Let's see how this hole is going to happen. First thing you need to know, yes, you're going to make a little bit of a mess, so you'll have to clean it up. Second thing you have to know is that there are some specialized tools you'll have to buy. This is a hole saw for brick, but this too small for going all the way through. So even though I've started with this one, I'll have to continue with a normal drill bit. So I continue with this drill bit. Basically, all I did is made a lot of small holes, and with a little chisel, I cut the pieces out, and basically I solved my problem, and the hole was quite round. And here we go, we have the hole all the way through, and now we're ready to install the pipes. There's some pipes over here, we have to install the pipes on it, and then some wiring. Next step gets a little bit tricky. You need a kit with pipes and wires that it's sold usually as a kit. You could buy it separately, it will be cheaper, but this is easier. And also you need this $15 tool. It's a tool that is going to make a special end to the pipe to fit into the condenser and compressor. This is more about the pride of doing it yourself than financially being worth it. There will be some people out there saying that it's not worth it for me to buy all these tools, and it's true. This is more about the pride of doing it yourself and learning how to do it, and then you could do it over and over and over. This is not the last AC that you're going to have, so once you learn how to do it, you could do multiple ACs over and over and over. So what we have here, we have two pipes over here. We have to extend them to go into the compressor, and they're not long enough to be able to do them after I put the unit on the wall. So if you have a slim wall, then you could do that, but because my wall is thick, I have to add the pipes first to it and then work on the wall. In this kit you also have a communication wire. It's a 5 wire cable. This is a communication wire, and then you should also have a normal wire, which is this one, for power. You also have a connector for the wall, and then you have some tape. And these pipes are already insulated, so that's the cool thing about it. And obviously you have an extension for the hose in case you want to drain it somewhere else. Right in front of the condenser unit, you have two little compartments. If you open them, you will see this is where all the wires are going. The cable with the 5 cables inside goes in here. White, brown, blue, black, and ground. And these are coming, the power is coming here from the outside unit. And then you have to reroute it that way that it goes through the hole, follow the pipe, and go outside. And here they are labeled, so exactly like the compressor in the back. W1, 2, S, and ground, so we're going to connect them in series. And this is a tapering tool. Basically you put the pipe through, and then you squeeze this part of the tool, and it makes like a cone shape over here, so it fits over the air conditioner. It's very, very easy to use tool, not too complicated, that's for sure. Once you have the end finished, so it has a nice conical shape over here, see? Then this one is a crush piece right now, so it will be crushed in between the tapering of the connector and the nut itself. So you just crank them together really, really hard, and that should seal the system. Now I know some people are using some special glues and other things to seal the system, and I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is that the copper, it's a soft material, so if you crank them hard enough, it will seal the system. So yes, you could buy other stuff that you've seen maybe in other videos, but you don't have to. If you crush it improperly, it will hold. And this is the outside unit. It's going to be installed here on the wall. This is the hole that we made from the house. All the pipes are as long as they were in the package, but I'm going to have to cut them shorter. Obviously, we don't want to have any loss on the system. I have to align them with the connectors on the compressor, and I also have to figure out the compressor to put it on the wall, and I bought some brackets for that. The brackets are quite easy to install. There's some plastic fillers in there with some big bolts, and you just screw them in and measure them where they need to go, and that's it. This should be its final resting position for a while. And this is the product, not final. We have the water line I still have to cut. I have my cables with a loop, so if water comes on them, it doesn't go into the unit, but it drips down. I've connected them here inside. The wires are matching what we have inside the house. So white, brown, blue, black goes from the house. We have a ground that comes from the house, and then we have the live wires, L and null, which is blue and brown, which is from the second cable, which is plugged into the outlet. In the house, these are matching on the AC unit exactly the same color. So you have white 1, 2, S matching exactly the same colors. I still have to fill it up, so even though these units come filled up with Freon already, I have to vacuum the system. So I have to pull the vacuum out. Once I pull the vacuum out, then I could release this valve over here, and it will allow the unit to function. This part of the installation is the part that you need specialized tools. We have a pump over here that we borrowed from a friend. We have the gauges, and then we have the connectors. Now, in some videos you're gonna see the gauges and the colors in different colors, different gauges. As you can see, blues with red, red with blue. My friend, this is how he uses them. The color combination doesn't matter as long as you follow the proper hookup. So if my red is going there, and in a different video you see a blue going there, just because it's a different color, it doesn't matter as long as they're hooked up in the right order. So what we have is we have the pump, we have the suction line on the pump, we have the tight fitting over here, and then we go into the middle of the gauges. The middle of the gauges, doesn't matter what color it is, and then we have this blue turn over here. This is the blue knob, and then we have a red hose. It could be a blue hose, it could be a white hose, whatever hose you have. This goes to the unit, and it installs into the low pressure side. It has a special plug over here. You're gonna need a connector, so wherever you're gonna buy this from is gonna need a connector, because this one is a 1/4 of an inch. I think this is a 5/8 or 3/4 or whatever it is. You're gonna need a special connector for it. And then we took the caps off. These are the caps just for the valves, so you could take these off. It will not leak. You're gonna need access to the valves. Obviously we had to tighten this nuts over here that holds the pipes in. Now I've seen people using specialized glue to put them on. These are compression fittings, so if you tighten them really good, they should not leak, and you could start sucking the air out of the system. This is the beauty of this particular part. You could do this and you cannot damage anything. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the pump. So we're gonna have the pump running. We're gonna run it for about 15 minutes. We are going to watch this gauge. This gauge is gonna go into the negative, and it should stay in the negative. And then we're gonna go from there. So right now you're just sucking the air out of the inside unit. You're creating a vacuum, and because of that you can't break anything, and taking your time is very important. You could do this multiple times. If you have any failures on the lines, now you're gonna detect them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this knob, because this knob has to be open, and then we have a tight fitting over here. We have we're gonna start sucking air out of the line, so we're gonna turn the pump on, and this should start going into the negative, and you'll see it already went into the negative compared to how it was before. And this will take about 15 minutes, so put it on your clock and let it run for 15 minutes. You could do it less, but people just recommend that particular time for it. Let me explain what's happening right now over the buzz of the pump. Air is getting sucked through this hose through this open valve, through this red hose in my case, but any hose you have, through the line. So through the line, all the air from the inside unit is getting sucked out between the two of the pipes. If you have longer pipes, it will take longer to do that. Air getting sucked out and a vacuum is getting created. Once the vacuum is created, if you don't have a tester for leaks, what you're gonna do is you're gonna close this valve next, and then you're gonna turn the pump off. Once you have turned this valve off, you are creating a vacuum that you're trying to hold between this valve and in the entire system. If you have no leaks around here or down here, or obviously around this hose, if you have a good hose, then that vacuum should stay for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 10 hours, 10 years, 20 years, if you have a good vacuum. If the vacuum is there, then you will be able to release the Freon in the system. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait our 15 minutes to make sure that we took all the air out. And why we were waiting for that long is because air is getting sucked out, but sometimes there is moisture deposits on the pipes. So if there is moisture on the pipes, that in the vacuum evaporates, but it takes time, and then you have to wait for that moisture to evaporate, to become gas, and to be sucked by the pump. So that's why we run it for 15 minutes. And once all the moisture is out of the system, then we could start working on the system. But we are ready to turn off the valve. So right now we're gonna screw this valve in. So we're gonna turn it off. Okay. And then we are going to turn off the pump. And we are going to watch this gauge. If that gauge moves anywhere towards zero, because it's not going to move that way because that's positive pressure, but if it's going to move anywhere towards zero, that means that our system is not sealed. Now I could leave it like this for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but when you do it yourself, you could leave it on for an entire day if you have time. That's the beauty of doing it yourself. When a technician comes over here, he's in a rush. He has 5, 6, 7 jobs that he has to do. So what he will do, he will just watch it for 5 minutes and call it quits. But if you have a very, very small leak, that might take a while before it's going to start moving. So when you do it yourself and you got the time, why would you rush? So we are almost an hour since we turned off the vacuum pump, and we're still in the negative, so that's great. That means that we have no leaks. I have confidence that we should be good as far as this goes. And now we're going to open up the valves and see what's going to happen. Everything that we've done till now has no repercussions. You could repeat them. There's no problem of turning back. After what we're gonna do now, there's no turning back. So what we have is we have the hose with the valve closed. Hose is still attached over here. There is a valve over here. There's a valve over here. This is where the Freon is. We're gonna open up this valve. It's gonna release the Freon into the vacuum, into the pipes. And then we're going to open up this valve, and then we are going to remove the hose after that. When we're going to remove the hose, we're going to have a little bit of a Freon coming this way, but that's just normal because you have to disconnect it really, really quick. So here we go. We're going to release the valve with the Allen wrench. We're going to open it up. You're going to hear the Freon going in. So the Freon was released. I'm going to take the valve all the way out. The same thing with the upper valve. This one is really tight. Okay. Same thing, we're going to take it all the way to the end. Has a stopper. And now we're gonna take the hose off. I've clamped it down a little bit tighter than normal. So you're gonna see some air coming out. It's just normal. So you have to take it off as fast as you can. A little bit of Freon is gonna escape. And this unit is ready to be started. This is a 220 unit. It's gonna be plugged into the wall. This is a cable, I'm gonna arrange it later on. So I'm gonna plug in the unit. You'll see it will turn on. There it is. This unit also has a remote, has an on-off button. So we're going to turn it on, and then we're going to set out the temperature. It's in Celsius. and it will turn on, and it will run and bring nice cool air inside. And here we are outside. The unit just started. You can see the fan is spinning and you can hear the compressor vibrating. So now it's starting to create cool air and put it into the house. I could definitely feel it blowing cold air on the back of my neck. It is quite an achievement to do it yourself. There's a satisfaction that comes with it. Even though there are special regulations for the areas that you're living in, for the way that these units are supposed to be installed, you might want to check with the local laws. These are do-it-yourselfer units. That's why they come with refrigerant built in. You don't have to actually refill them. There's regulations if you have to fill them up. But these are do-it-yourselfer units. They cost $200 to $150. They're quite cheap, and they're quite affordable. So I hope this video helped you out, and sure, I made a couple of things that are not perfect, but that's the idea. Even if it's not perfect, it still works. Find out how this unit is going to actually do in time. Stay subscribed to the channel, because I'm going to let you know if I've done it right or the Freon came out and everything went to hell. So thanks for watching.